Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. In this video, we're going to be discussing this recent HEX all-time high breakout that we're seeing play out on the charts right now. If you like this kind of hybrid, quantitative, and technical analysis on the HEX charts, leave a thumbs up, be subscribed by the end of the video if you aren't already by now, and let's go ahead and talk about this breakout, which just happened probably a few hours ago. I'm not one to want to zoom in super far on the charts, but I kind of want to take a look at when this actually happened. Right, just a few hours ago, literally just a few hours ago. So what happened? We broke through our all-time high. Keep in mind, this is the HEX USDC pair, the most liquid order book of HEX on the planet, with approximately $10 million of total liquidity, with about $5 million sitting on each side. Plenty of liquidity there if you're looking to do whatever you're going to do, right? Just it's a sweet spot, right? There's a sweet spot for liquidity where price can still have price discovery mode and appreciation, yet still be liquid and capital efficient enough to provide a market for those who want to buy and sell in respectable quantities. So this bullish formation that we've been talking about has formed and played out pretty nicely. We've been talking about this for the longest time. Whether it's, we said it could be an ascending triangle because we have our higher lows with our flat top. So it could be a flat top ascending triangle. We said it could be more of a falling wedge where it was more of a triangle shape. And however way you draw it, truly, right? If you were subscribing to the wedge formation, something more like this, regardless of how you draw the bottoms, right? What we care about is here. And it looks like if you thought this was a falling wedge, well, we broke it and we're potentially closing full candles above it. And so you would expect if tomorrow were to close bullish, meaning full bodies above the 6 penny region, that would be a confirmation of the bull flag. And then we would be on our way to what we've been talking about on the channel for the past month or so, which is our targets of, we've talked about this, 10 to 12 cents if it plays out technically. However, 2x that if you look at historically what HEX likes to do, which is double historical targets, putting it closer to 20 to 24 cents. So what we've been talking about, we've been preparing for this, and again, we need a close tomorrow, right? So a full 24 plus hours. Probably by the time you're watching this video, like 28 hours or so until we get the close tomorrow, right? June 10th. Because then we'll know if it closes above this, assuming you subscribe to this falling wedge formation, something like this, right? Then assuming you subscribe to something like that, then it's technically confirmed tomorrow if we hold above 6 cents. If you subscribe to something more along the lines of this flat top ascending triangle, so something more, just this in the dotted line, then you'd be expecting a confirmation above 6.3, 6.4 pennies, full candles above that, full bodies of candles above that, before you'd expect us to be confirmed. So depending on, what shape, what chart formation you think is playing out, then you would act accordingly if that's your plan, right? So remember our targets, 10 to 12 cents conservative, potentially 20 plus cents bullish. And that is only if this plays out according to how we think it is, because obviously nothing on this channel is financial advice. Your generic disclaimer for this video. But and the reason I say that is because it might not play out like that, right? There's always a chance things go sideways, down, or even higher than we expect. Because there have been certain fractals that we've looked at that suggest we could go much higher. For example, this is just one interpretation, super bullish. Pretty bullish. But if you look at something like this, check it out. On a regression rainbow, you can find this on LookIntoHex.com. For those of you who are new, we have our equidistant model, which is simply spaced the same. Each line is spaced by the same amount in log space, right? Here you have it on linear scale, here you have it on a log scale, and here you have it on a normalized log scale. And I was actually going to say it might be a good idea to add a fourth one, which is the log scale, if you guys remember. I'll pull that up in a minute for those of you who don't remember or those of you who are new, but I think it would look really cool. Someone actually used it for a graphic on Twitter, which I thought was amazing. Excuse me. I should probably find cool stuff like that and pull it up. But for now, yeah, I might add that fourth log chart for both the equidistant and the Fibonacci space model. So let me know what you think about that. But back to this fractal here that I wanted to discuss. We've talked about a lot on this channel as well. We talked about it on the equidistant model, but now with this Fibonacci model, it looks even more, it looks like more of a solid case, and I'll explain what I mean. So we saw plenty of consolidation back here in the early days between orange and yellow. As you can tell here, a lot of action going on there. Definitely some wicks, or not wicks, but actual price action to the bottom and above that. So there was oscillation, there was volatility, and we saw a peak to the line above the top of our majority consolidation area, right? And then we saw a move after consolidation in yellow up to pink. So we moved up like 4 lines. And so we've talked about this so much on this channel. This idea that what if we just dropped a region in recent history where we saw the majority of consolidation between red and orange as opposed to orange and yellow. So one region beneath, we saw a local peak back here to yellow, which is one line above the consolidation region, similar to here when we popped up to green. And then here we saw consolidation around yellow. Here we have nice consolidation around orange, where we went above it, beneath it, back above it, back on it, and we seem to be holding it recently. And so remember, once yellow held over here, what happened was we shot back up over here, approximately, what is that? 3.38, 24.37, like a 7x, a little over 7x. And so if we were to shoot up to maybe not the pink, but just one lower over here, it could be something like a 6x, a 6 or 7x up to the purple in the next month or two, which puts prices, if you just take a look at the log over here in July, not log, just the log scale, excuse me. Getting ahead of myself here. Then purple is already approaching 50 cents July 13th. So in about 34 days. So that's just an even more bullish scenario, which was to emphasize like, yo, this formation is cool and all. It's conservative, 10, 12 cents. If we double like we historically have our technical target, then you're looking at 20, 24 cents. If you're looking at this fractal, you could be looking at 50 cents. So you have these kind of strata, right? You have these tiers of bullishness. And when you think you're going to hit them, I was giving you targets of like, what, July for 50 cents. So obviously anything like 20 cents can play out before then. And then you have obviously that, you could call it a positive externality of PulseChain launch, causing potential buy pressure on the HEX price, because here's my line of thinking, right? When PulseChain was announced, I actually can't remember exactly when it was, but when PulseChain was announced somewhere back here, price obviously ran up a ton, right? And that was sort of a buy the rumor event. And people did the game theory pretty quickly. Smart folk did the game theory pretty quickly and saw the potential appreciation in HEX via some of the mechanisms associated with PulseChain. And so they started buying up the price. Potentially it was that kind of a move sparked by that, at least partially, in my opinion. And okay, cool. There's also, in my opinion, the class of investors that are waiting until the actual sacrifice goes live. And let me explain what I mean. I'm assuming that there is a class of investors that want to preserve the USD value that they want to sacrifice. So I'll give you an example of let's say a high class investor wants to invest $100,000 into PulseChain when it launches. Say he wants to throw it all in day one, right? In my opinion, there are some people who would say transfer that money from their bank to whatever onboarding ramp they use, and turn it into, say, a stable coin like DAI or USDC, and preserve that $100,000, say, in USDC, just sitting there, right? And it's just been sitting there. They're waiting until Sacrifice goes live to convert that into, say, their favorite coin. Say they own a lot of another coin. Let's use HEX as an example. Maybe they're to buy up the HEX price before sacrificing, but the only reason they didn't do it prior was because they wanted to preserve their USD denominated value. And I do believe there are these kinds of investors who didn't necessarily want to use their PulseChain funds to speculate on the HEX price, right? Because they're two different things at the end of the day. And in my opinion, there is that class of investor who's waiting on the sidelines with fresh powder, stable coins, ready to buy up the HEX price potentially as soon as Sacrifice goes live. So I think when the Sacrifice phase does go, I think when it does go live, that just sounded weird for a second. I think when it goes live, that we might see a run up, right? And we don't know where that'll stop. We don't know if it's 10, 20, 30, 40, 50 cents. I couldn't tell you, right? But I do think that this is playing out like we've been talking about for a while now. It looks like we had nice wicks down to this ribbon that we've been talking about. The formation is looking great. Once again, if we close above 6 pennies, super bullish. Close above 6.3 pennies, even more bullish. And our targets we've talked about extensively on this channel. So yeah, let me know if I should add the log chart on here. Let me try to pull that up actually, so you know what I'm talking about. And it's effectively, come on Google, so slow. Here we go, regression rainbow. If it wants to work. Here we go. Come on, Google. All right, well, that's taking its time. Price is sitting at 6.533. Again, our wick was all the way up to 7.557 cents. All-time high on the most liquid pair. I think if you go on the HEX USD pair, I'm pretty sure that just averages, yeah, I'm pretty sure if you just do HEX USD, this averages across, or is this just Uniswap V2? Yeah, you just get way more wicks for some reason on this one. I'm not sure what the difference is, but I like to use HEX USDC just because it's the most liquid. Yeah, I don't know if this is going to load, guys. I'm sorry. But if you haven't checked out the log chart, there's a video in which I covered extensively. It's 1 or 2 videos back. And yeah, check that out if you haven't already. But I think I'm just going to add it on here, and you'll see what I mean. There's actually, like I was saying, a very cool graphic made with the log chart, which I want to pull up if I can find it. Yeah, for those of you who are sticking around right now, definitely be subscribed. Let's get to 2,400 subs, almost there, and turn on the bell because we drop videos every single day. Here we go. Yeah, so here, this makes it easy. I'm just pulling up a thumbnail, right? So it's this chart. Effectively, it's this chart where time is also spaced on a log scale, so that day 1 to 10 is the same on the chart as day 10 to 100, day 100 to 1,000, and this gives you just a different perspective of the curve, and I think it just looks artistic, right? I think it looks really cool. But yeah, I think I should add that on the website, so be on the lookout for that as well. A few more things to note. I have to refit the data on these. So remember that this red curve was just fit to data over here, 1, 2, 3, 4 clusters, whereas once price hit it so perfectly over here, and this was after the fit, and it actually respected the fit really nicely, I think that means we should probably refit it to include that data. And so the curve, right, the rainbow might tilt over a little bit in either direction, but then it'll just be more accurate, hopefully, over time because it uses more data. I also wanted to give a big shout out to Silver the Antidote for sharing the recent quarterly ROI video on Twitter and connecting that to, to Three Arrows Capital potentially. So that's really cool. Other than that, I think that was all I wanted to let you guys know in this video. Thanks again for watching and tuning in. I might be going live this weekend. I think that'd be fun. Maybe if we break all-time highs, I'll just hop on live, and I'd let you guys know on Twitter. So go ahead and check out Twitter, link in the description. Thanks again for watching. Be subscribed, leave a thumbs up, and I'll catch you in the next video.